Hi everybody, we are going to be making a barometer today. The materials we need can be found on the classroom assignment. It is the first one. The initial page looks like this, but in different colors. My printer was running out of ink. All right, so this is what the barometer instructions look like. Make sure you pull that up. Barometers measure air pressure, and our air pressure changes when our temperature changes, along with several other things that go into it, like what our humidity is and those things. So we are going to create our own little weather instrument, the barometer. Okay, so the materials we need are an empty can, open, we don't need the lid. What I did is I used a can of beets because it's pure liquid and has just brown little solid pieces of beets. So it was really easy to clean. All I had to do was rinse it out and dry it out. That was super simple. I would think that soup wouldn't be as simple unless it was a liquid soup, not a creamy soup, those kinds of things. Okay, that's what we need with our can. All right, we need petroleum jelly. You don't need like the whole container or anything. You literally just need to rub your finger along it. So if you have one in the house, just use that. If not, I got these from Dollar Tree. A straw, a rubber band, and a balloon. Tape. I think that it should be included. We need a pen and scissors. Okay, so to get started, it says air pressure, which is measured with a barometer, changes from day to day. When weather systems move nearby, when air warms up, it rises and can create clouds. So low pressure is associated with stormy weather. When air pressure cools, it sinks, so fewer clouds can form. So high pressure is associated with clear skies. So if we have clear skies, then we are likely having high pressure. If we have stormy weather, we're likely having low pressure. Now, this is a little different with our current fire situation. So our clouds, that is ash in the air, not actually clouds formed. So I wouldn't particularly declare that as stormy weather because it's not related to clouds and the formation of rain and those kinds of things. It's related to ash and fire. Okay, we already went over our materials. Oh, I did forget to mention, we need a light colored poster board. It doesn't have to be an actual poster board. It can be construction paper. I chose this one because I really liked the lines and I want to use those lines. And I got that at Dollar Tree. Okay, our first instructions. Spread a thin layer of petroleum jelly around the edge of the can. Be careful not to cut yourself. Okay. Open our petroleum jelly. I'm just going to rub my finger on it. Now, it is not very detailed in whether it wants us to do this edge, the inner edge, or the top edge. So I am assuming that they are talking about the top edge. So just rub that petroleum jelly over the top. Okay. I had some on my fingers, so I was trying to use that. All right. Our next step. Stretch the uninflated balloon over the can and seal it with the rubber band. Okay, that also wasn't very specific. If we look at a balloon, typically it has this little section right here. This is not going to stretch over a can very easily. I did blow this balloon up several times to see if I could get this to stretch anymore, and I was eventually able to get it to stretch over the can, but then the rest of the balloon ended up creating a little sinkhole in the can, and that is not what we want. So I realized what it's wanting us to do is to just have the balloon elasticity. So I want you to cut the balloon, have the full balloon. I want you to cut it along right here. So we're just taking that top half, but you have enough room that it can go around the can. Okay, so I'm gonna mark with a pen on here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you should be cutting along the line like that. See how there's enough room that it can go over a can, but not enough room that the balloon is going to fall into the can? Okay, so I have already done that. Now I am able to stretch it. We want to make sure that it is flat on the top of the can. So I'm going to stick my fingers all the way inside the balloon to the very edge. Okay, pull it, fit the balloon over, make sure it's flat. Needs to be completely flat. Okay. All right, then it says to secure it with the rubber band. Okay. The other thing you need to make sure and check is that you did not in this process make any holes in the elastic. That will release the pressure and make it where our instrument is no longer effective or able to give us any results at all. All right, so we are ready with we are done with step one. Now we need to tape a straw onto the middle of the balloon. Okay. I do not believe we need this full straw, so I am going to cut the straw in half. All right, I'm going to use the half without the bendy section. Bendy section is bent. It's easy to bend it. I don't want it to be bendable. That gives us mixed results. Okay, onto the middle of the balloon. So it showed masking tape. I didn't have masking tape, and it declared in the materials just pure tape. So I got just normal Scotch tape. Okay, it says to tape it in the middle. Okay. I'm going to do a longer piece of tape because it seems that my straw is lifted a little. Okay. So I have taped the straw in the middle. You can see how it's kind of lifted on mine. All right. Place a piece of folded poster board next to the can where it won't be disturbed. All right, so how I wanted to do this is, I think a great way for it to not be disturbed is for me to tape it onto the can. So I am just going to measure where I want the can to be on my poster board. I'm going to draw a line. So I know where I'm going to cut my poster board. Okay. Then I'm going to use my ruler to make sure that line is actually straight. Okay. And then I cut the poster board. I know I don't need that top half, so I'm just going to save that stripe and cut along the top like this. Okay, so I only ended up cutting out this section. And I left this section so I could still have that strip if I wanted it. All right, now I am going to tape my can to the poster board so that way it's not gonna have problems with being disturbed at all. And I could also move it. So I'm gonna do a loop tape. You tape it to itself, making a loop. I'm gonna put it on the back of the can, like that. And then I want to make it where I can directly see the line, so it needs to be parallel. Okay, that looks pretty parallel to me. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it on. All right. I don't need all of this extra, so I'm just going to cut some of that off so it's not bending so much. Okay. Okay, now I need to mark where is my straw right now. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to follow my straw and mark on my sheet where my straw is now. See that line? And then when it's sitting, well, it looks a little different because the way the camera is positioned, but if you are looking at it straight on, that line is still wrong. Okay, let's try this again. This time I'm just going to take, while it's standing up, the pen and carry it over. It looks like I'm along the orange line now. Okay, so I'm going to draw a new line. Start. Okay. I want an inch above my original line to be marked as high. I know typically I tell you not to use inches in science. However, if you would like, you can use 2 centimeters instead. However, this is just for our placement so we can tell where high is. So it's okay to use inches here. And then an inch below, my original starting point. And that will be our low. Okay. Now we got to remember that high pressure means that we have sunny days. So to remember that by, I'm going to draw a wonderful looking sun. All right. And a low means cloudy days, so I'm going to draw a cloud. And that cloud turns into lightning. Okay, so that I know that that's a stormy day. And I'm just going to draw like a little scribble over that original line that I drew that did not match up. So that way I know that this line here is not an actual line and that my line is actually right here where the straw is. And if we go up past our original line, we know it's higher pressure. It does not have to reach this high line. It just has to be over our original line right here. If we go under the original line, that means we have a lower pressure. All right. Now, we read our results. When there is high air pressure, the air outside can push down the balloon harder, tipping up the straw. When the outside air pressure is lower, the balloon top of the can expands, which tips the straw downward. Okay. To add further testing into this, you can check your barometer every single day or every single week to see what the temperature is. I don't want you to dispose of this quite yet because we are going to make all of the instruments in this packet. And it would be really cool to have our own little instrument set up. All right, we have made our barometer. I'm going to set this aside and we can go on to the next video.